G'day, today I'm going to play Rogue Tower again, I continue to sort of try and develop an understanding of this game. That is one thing I do want to point out with this, that some of the comments that I've had on these have been very like, this is the way that you should be doing it, and that's not really what this series is about. I love tower defense games. I love a wide variety of tower defense games, and what this series is, or the way that you probably the best way to sort of appreciate, I guess, how to enjoy this is this is how I think and how I approach a game like this. It's not I need to win this right now. So you're gonna watch me sort of like explore the space, test out the way that certain towers work. What should I be doing here? It's not going to be. This isn't about winning it today. This is about winning it in a few hours' time, not in the second hour that I've been playing it. I also very much suspect that the way that this game works is that you need to upgrade a fair bit of stuff and have that understanding going. Now, six. Yeah. So I do want Tesla coil straight in here. I think that they are going to be a really big part of this, but what we need is a corner. So good, there's one corner for us. It's not as defined a corner as I would like. The bad run there because I was too slow in building my my Tesla. That's more what we want to see. So I'll even happily sell this guy after this round. Because there's actually 3 really good spots for Teslas on this corner. So what we can do is we can really work them hard on this point here. And we can also get some ballisters up on this hill to hit them before and after. And with this, we want them to go most armor, most shield, most health. We might go for some mana siphons because I have gone so heavy on that we'll get these guys. Is he reaching it? Doesn't look like he's reaching it. Now this guy was set armor shield, so let's go shield, armor, health. So the idea of these guys up here is that they want to pick on these guys before they get to that sort of little death loop that they're going to go through. Also good to see even this guy here can chip in. The only thing I'm not the biggest fan about this is it means that even if a guy has a Scarrick of armor or shield, he's going to get the focus over anyone that has any sort of major amount of health. I have a few more houses too that I could build against, get some money. Still on the fence about that. Like, for example, this guy, if I was to build this here, it would cost me 130. Positionally, I'm not convinced it's the best spot to be in. And it would take, what, at least 13 rounds for him to be valuable. Armor. Damage to shield. I tell you, I constantly forget about which one's the really hard one, whether it's shields or armor. It's the big thing that's sinking me each time. But we'll go the Tesla coils. Now we can even do a second setup of Tesla coils in here. We would need a bit more money for that. But the thing I am learning here is that... Was he shields or armor? He was armor. Cool. Is there's that really tricky moment between when we have to be good enough to be able to kill Oogie, but then we also have to be ready that the next wave of guys are going to have an incredible amount of shields or armor, whichever one is the other one. I think that's armor. These guys are doing some good work, and I do want to set up a similar thing here. Just need the money for it. Doesn't mean that we can't start with at least one guy on there, but we should get a few more siphons going. This is where these guys are going to come in valuable to knock out these big guys that are sort of amongst the rest of this. Okay. Range wouldn't be bad. The extra damage to armor, or 2 to armor. We might take that. Because these 2 squares are raised, they're going to be our priority points for these Teslas, as opposed to the 2 corners. Their range almost isn't actually good enough to worry with that, though, so maybe I will move them to the corners. For these sort of scattered houses, I feel like mortars would be the best choice. Because the mortars do cover so much area, it doesn't much matter where they're sitting. I mean, I also do think that there will become a point where you're on such a high level that having just one ballista sitting next to one of these is a worthwhile investment. I mean, this guy here, if he cost me, what, 70, I don't think he would have made me my money back yet. The shield and armor, they're doing alright. And I will get some guys up on top of this hill. does seem like it could be worthwhile selling these two guys and relocating them on that side of the hill. I guess he's hitting a little bit, but... Alright, here comes the guy. Let's see how we go against him. Now, we do have a little bit of money that we can spend here, but... like I said, we kind of want to spend it on, is it shields or armor, or whatever that next level thing is. The problem is every time, you can just see, this is not impacting Oogie. I mean, at least the little guys are taking a beating. Like, these guys here are gonna, like, just get eaten, chewed up by that. As soon as they move through. This guy will die right at the start of it, so he should hopefully see a lot of those guys go before he comes out the other side. But this has me at in the mana is the problem I've got. And I guess we can say noted with that. This might mean nothing if Oogie gets through. She's looking like he might. It's I find it so crazy that every time it's the hardest balance that I'm getting here is trying to figure out the point where the fine line between trying to be aware of what's going to come the wave after that versus okay, cool. So the battering ram has armor. So armor is the thing I'm currently against. Shield is what's going to come next. But it's that line of trying to be ready for what's going to come, as opposed to while also being ready that Oogie isn't just going to knock you out as soon as he comes through. Can I afford that? No, not yet. All right, well, we'll return to the game and we'll just go again. Right into it. So I did like put something in. Oh, you got there at least. Okay, so this is the one where probably the houses are going to be worthwhile. We'll demolish him. We'll put one there, and we'll put one there as our 3 close to the start. Generally, our guys at the start aren't going to do too much. So if at least they're going to make their cost back for me, we'll support that. Now, I think this is too far back on the map to... So we'll take that. To want to have any... Oh. Okay, the fact that this is already going to split there, that means that this is going to be my kill zone. Not great. The real shame about that last one was that was a really good layout, really fortunate layout. Yeah, let's go the other way on this one. Let's go heavily against houses. We won't worry about the money it just cost us to put in. It's about the money that we will have from this point onward. Because that money's already been spent. Now we're just dealing in profit. Right. That's what we want. So we're going to go 1 and 2. We'll go 3 once we can afford him, even though he's going to miss this group of guys. Didn't I opt for the siphon? Did I opt for the siphon before? Or was it just giving me more mana? Because maybe my mana just went up, so it's just... Yeah. Maybe I just didn't read it. Yeah, a lot I don't like at the moment. I'll see if we can work it though. Ah. So we can gain another more mana. I do like the slow that these guys can get. That does make a good case to put these guys a lot more around this area. Might hold off. Nah. So what did I determine? This is currently armor, and that little fort thing is probably the best way to actually try and remember this. That the fort thing, of course, isn't going to have magic. It is going to have armor. So yellow is armor. And this is just bad that these guys are getting through it all at the moment. This is again exactly what you see. I mean, this is I think a bad layout. The fact that this is splitting already here. I can't set up too much, sort of in a single column. But alright, so we'll set these guys up to do this right. So armor is the yellow, so I think shield's gonna end up being more important. But I will continue on the way that I've been going, where it's sort of like every second one's focusing on something different. So he's shield, he's armor, he's shield, he's armor. Still so many of them. This is bad. This is a bad game, this one. The fact that these guys are slow and they should be much more in this game. And I think the shield and armor thing is quite important to this. I think we're going to lose here anyway. As long as we got, we won't even look at the stats of that one. As long as we got the 8 that I needed, cool, to get that upgrade I wanted. You can consider that a victory. Let's go again. So I think that what I want in a perfect design, and of course this is just a very short-term sort of goal and building my design, is I want a layout where I can have a nice path that runs long enough for me to have sections like this on a single row before I end up hitting a point where they fork in two different directions. Mortars. Cool, it'd be good to see mortars again. Okay, so there's our fork. So a mortar placed in this section here will both make us money and should be able to cover the vast majority of the map that we're looking at here. So we will go armor, shield, health, and shield, armor, health. I'm just curious to see as well, these two guys that are up on a hill next to a house, do they actually get the money payment too, or are they... Does it not count as them? Okay, so we'll go for the slow. They said 7, so it doesn't. And this other guy said 28 though, but so that would have been 4, but this one wasn't. Oh, because he's on the ground. Okay. So raised next to one of these does not count. So we'll sell him because he's not getting us anything. We will give a ballista up there too. So these guys definitely do good work. I mean, this is certainly early days, but this is almost about the same point where I was having issues with the other one. Now, this, again, is where you then ask the question, well, should I actually just be spending money on these guys to upgrade them as opposed to putting in more buildings? What's worth more? The only thing that I can see would make making more worth more at this point is that I know that now my ballistas slow guys, so the more that they can slow, the more that we can we have to gain from like the ballistas around them, taking guys down. He was shield. Yeah, they are doing really good work. Alright, we'll follow this path because it's sort of coming back towards us, and that can certainly benefit from mortars taking shots like that. There certainly isn't any harm in building guys up here. I mean, I just immediately see it as a problem of I've immediately cut them down to only being able to attack 50% of the guys that may ever appear on the map. So I definitely normally will work on a logic like this, where it's like, well, this is the point where everyone merges to the same one row, so this is where I'm going to play. That's probably a good mortar location back there. Put 2 in there. We'll go 1 for shield. 1 for armor. He can just be progress. I think are all these guys progress too? Yeah, they're all based progress. I mean, we're not getting any I just don't have anything that actually needs mana. That's the problem. Like, that would be great if we had the Tesla towers. Which does really feel like at the moment it's giving me one or the other. I'm never getting a game where I get both. I feel like I had an early one where I did. It's been a while. does feel like there would be a point where putting another one of these guys here would be good money. I mean, they've got such good location as well in that central section. This is some great work too back here. Sort of feels more of a problem. Shield. You can see that on here too. That his armor multiplier is massive to shield one. I mean, for that potentially I should be going armor and then shield, just because they'll work through someone with shield a lot quicker. So they'll work through someone with armor a lot quicker. I feel like I would like a few more ballistas in here, but would probably be somewhere in this back section. And then, like, he's only one up. Actually, let's demolish him and let's put him there. We'll probably just put a few guys that'll benefit from that house, so that they're just backups, but at least they'll gain something. Alright, well the good news is that Oogie has shown up on one of the longer sides. Whether we'll actually take any shots at him. I mean, at least he's got some black, which seems like a bit more of a win than a lot of the times that we play. It does make me feel like what I should be doing is pivoting all of my guys to just most health at this point. But once this gets in range, then at least I'll all turn and focus on the right guy. Hopefully this guy, like, there's none of the fort thing still moving, so the last one of these guys should actually clear out, so hopefully he's going to be focused on his own anyway. So I mean, we possibly can remove that, that requirement, because they're just going to do it anyway. All the time in the world to focus on him. Okay, so we've got a fair bit of gold. So what we want to do now is we want to consider that shield multiplier. And we want the guys that I've got telling to focus on shield actually be able to put their money where their mouth is and smoke those guys. Gain additional 5% slow. That's not bad because we just don't have any Tesla towers, but I think the slow is going to be where we're going to really gain here. Now these guys in here are all based on progress. Everyone back here is just purely progress, except for these two. I feel like I've got to spend. See, these guys are just going to wander all the way through. And at least we're making them go slow, right? mean, I don't know if possibly, like, all we're going to have to do is just survive a couple of waves of this. My goal is spending that money on increasing my damage to shield and armor. Getting these guys into double digits for both. Those guys are doing amazing work against armor. But the slowing is certainly going to help too. Whether that does mean that I should be looking to bring a few more guys, like ballistas, forward, so that there are guys who are even further up that are getting hit with that slow. But because that slow is an individual thing, that's only, yeah, I don't know. Using the money to individually upgrade towers possibly could be the way to do this. And because this design is built so much on being surrounding the houses, there's I guess a lot more money that I've got. This one has definitely had a lot of good house placement. I'm gonna put a ballista there, and I'm gonna put a mortar there. Once I can afford him, if I can afford him. Expanding out, I don't know if there's any positives or negatives to expanding only in one direction. I assume more and more guys are coming. But the more I expand out this side, these guys will run across the face, so they'll be hit by this before coming all the way around and getting hit by it again. So you can say how low these guys are at the back. Whereas there could be a lot of guys here, but they're hitting it quick. But it at least means that potentially they're hitting this at a different time to everyone else is getting there. A little bit of slow going though. Nice work. We will focus on armor, then shield, because you do way more damage to shield armor at this stage. These guys are moving quick. At least if they're all grouped together, they're getting hit by the mortars from every angle. Still, I do have my position still waiting for the Teslas to come into this. And that will continue to just build on top of each other, which would be sort of Teslas in here. Maybe in here a little bit. Definitely need those higher unlocks so I can reach the point where I can get access to more cards. That's definitely a big, will be a game changer once that unlocks. I only just noticed right there. There's the colors. I needed to ever remind myself of which color is which. There it is, hidden just under those bars. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, so we can get this started because it'll be a while till anyone gets into Tesla coil territory. We want one. Now, this is also going to sort of be problematic based on the amount of mana I'm making. Luckily, nothing else is using mana at this point. But hopefully what this will do is pick off a significant number of the guys that otherwise would just be in the way. Although almost the opposite's happening. Like a whole bunch of guys just suddenly got through. Don't know what caused that. I suppose also a positive about, like, one of my original strategies was to have all of the Tesla coils essentially at the front. To just help, like, the mortars do big damage on the big guys. Teslas clean out the little guys so that the ballistic towers are just focusing on the guys that pass those two tests. But I think now there's benefit to them being sort of scattered all the way through, all the way back. Part of it will be mana, that these guys back here actually won't ever have to rely on the mana and as much, that it's sort of, they'll be break glass in case of emergency sort of stuff. Now we are up to a point where we're getting 20 gold per turn on these guys that are surrounding houses, so that's a fair bit of money we're now getting as a result of that, which is good. See how fast these guys are moving through. And this is where we want to see how much mana we're burning through with the Teslas. But I mean also they're doing very important work. But we are now clean out mana. So our next folks, certainly, if we could have a siphon, we would have mana for days. We've got so many available siphon points. Does make me hesitant to build any more Tesla points until we've got something to address the mana, because if the 6 I have aren't in operation, what's the point of having any? Or, like, having more, because those are just going to be more that won't be able to operate. Good to see that they're at least making an impact on that shield now. I mean, they are sort of getting up there. Actually, talk to me, guys. What are you looking like? Because the front line, you can definitely try and pack a punch. You see how much money I'm just gaining straight out of a level. So that's certainly good. Yeah, I think the ballista's slow is certainly huge in this. Still, these guys are chipping through at the back end here. Come on, get him. Good job. And it is definitely mana is what we need. I would consider 4 more Tesla towers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably that one might be a little bit too far back. But did I say there? Even there. Maybe 1, 2, 3. Is there a way to speed up in this game? Just quickly check the options. Oh, not much in the way of options. I think the range, I guess. See, at this point I would love to just speed up. Let's just move this along a bit quicker. Spend some money at least. Get that guy bringing some pain. Some of these guys at the back trying to make sure they're representing all types. It's not a good sign. These guys are getting all the way through. And nice work, Mortars. These guys here do look like they're coming with a fair bit of armor now. No rush, buddy. The good thing with this is this will potentially justify putting a mortar back here. Just put a bit more hurt on these guys. I'll just leave him on closest to exit for now, though he's not going to even get a chance to hit any of those guys. And maybe now. That's not a bad shot. Oh, a lot of guys getting through. Alright, there we go. My best attempts so far, so let's have a look there. So the mortars were doing fantastic for their damage. So were the ballistas. The Tesla coils weren't, but I mean that was a twofold problem there. One, they were very late in the game, so the initial cost of building them had been spent, and then they hadn't been around long enough, like the other guys had, to sort of justify those costs, as well as I genuinely was just running out of mana a lot of the time there. So, draw an additional card when you draw upgrade cards will be a huge help. The draw frequency to cards every 2 rounds, and it will be, what, 2 cards every 2 rounds? Oh, here we go. Now we're going to be cooking with gas. Even just this one will mean that we hopefully will be double as effective next time. And it's only 6 more cards to unlock to get the 2 of them. Now, does that just mean I have to unlock just 6 cards and then I get that? Take more money. We'll increase our mana capacity. And those ones are just cheap, but is that... Just pop on a few of these. Now, just curious, if I go out and then I come back in, 2 more cards. Okay, so let's just find 2 cheap cards. That's a 15. And don't have that 5 yet. It must be a 15 around somewhere. There we are. Then we go back to the main menu, we come back into upgrades, we can take a draw frequency, and we can take a card draw. Start with more money, and I think that that'll set us in a much better position when we head in next time. Thanks for watching. Until then, I'll catch you later. See ya.